Am I new? Yeah, man, first day. Don't forget strawberries. That's a good move right there. Take two, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can be in it, bud. You want some chicken and rice too, bud? What's gonna be the name of what? Of the chicken? Oh, it's called Local Legends.
Local Legends.
Yep.
YouTube stars, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, the show's not out yet. We'll see how it goes, you know?
Show me around town, yeah. Show me all the good spots. Local legend. Local legend.
Which one is yours?
Well, which one am I or which one do I want to be? I want to be balanced.
Balanced?
I'm balanced, all right. Oh, Hobbs is caring. Ian, knowledgeable. Dan is a thinker.
I would say.
Carolyn is principled. That's what I look like? You guys got to tell me that. A lot of people might define success in the culinary world as being a chef at a Michelin-Starred restaurant. The local legend Dan Giusti tried that.
It's Giusti.
Jesus, twice!
Giusti.
I know, it's pretty simple.
It's actually not hard at all.
His passion is feeding people, and he realized that the fine dining world had a pretty limited number of seats at the table. And that's why Dan left his job at NOMA, a really high-end restaurant in Copenhagen, and founded Brigaid in 2016, a company that connects public schools with trained chefs like him and design menus with delicious, fresh, affordable, and healthy food for our growing kiddos across the country. Not only does he feed a way bigger and younger table now, but his guests really depend on the meals. Every day, 29.6 million kids participate in the National School Lunch Program. And 75% of those 4.9 billion, that's right, billion with a B, yearly lunches are free or reduced cost to kids. What a beautiful thing. Brigaid works with 20 school districts and counting across the country. They help schools in two big ways. First, they make sure schools continue to get their funding by meeting USDA guidelines. And secondly, they help schools make food that the kids actually want to eat. We all know that can be a challenge and a half. Today we're heading down to CB Jennings, a New London, Connecticut school district, where Brigaid launched its first pilot program in 2016. They've implemented a fantastic meal program there with a stellar cafeteria staff. And as the parent of a picky eater, I wanted to see what kind of magic they were cooking up in there to get these kids to eat healthy, nutritious, and beautiful food. If you think it's hard to please guests paying hundreds of dollars for a dinner at a Michelin-Starred restaurant, just wait till your food critics are 12 and under, picky, and don't really care what you think. So the bar for success is high, and hopefully old Lunch Lady Brad is up for the task. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Oh, we're in good shape. We got the A-team. First of all, thanks for having us, man.
My pleasure.
Taking
Thank
the time.
Appreciate it.
And sitting through me butchering your name. Tell me a little bit about Brigaid. So what exactly is it?
It's a pretty simple concept. We basically go out, we find chefs, professional chefs that are passionate about the mission. We hire them, we train them, we place them to work with food service programs like in schools to help them reach their goals of improved food quality. There's amazing folks working in these schools. We're going to meet them today. We're looking to help them reach their goals. Folks that work in school kitchens, unfortunately, don't get the recognition that they deserve. They receive a lot of flack. It's hard to please kids every day.
Right. I can only imagine it being a little bit, because I have two kids myself. It must be a challenge to get kids to want to eat.
Yeah, they might be kids, and we talk about them being picky, but I feel like if you took 1,000 adults and you put them in the same place at the same time, it would also be very difficult to please all of them. So it's a challenge for sure.
Like, you know, you always hear parents, oh, well, I sneak this into the food or something. Like, do you guys have to do little witchcraftery like that?
I prefer to be very honest about what we're serving. I want kids to know that they like something. Right. So if you hide it, they don't know if they like it. So if they don't want to try it today, that's fine. The luxury we have in schools is that we have kids here every day. You can get to them next year, you can get to them next week, but you have time to get to them. It doesn't need to be today.
You know, any food is better than no food. That's a beautiful thing that schools do offer. Because a lot of people don't have food, you know, or have breakfast in the morning.
Well, I think that is the core function of a school food program, is to feed kids. There are plenty of kids in this school district that depend on the meals, whether it's breakfast, whether it's lunch. As much as we're excited about cooking scratch meals and all these things, today's menu is like, you know, pretty ambitious. There might be a kid who wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that's the only thing they feel comfortable eating, and it's important that we provide that. Not only provide it, but we also put the same kind of passion, even the very, very simple things that we're putting effort into it.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Dan. Yeah, well, we got in a little earlier before the kids showed up. Calm
right.
before the storm.
Calm before the storm, right.
Put me to work, man. What's next?
Yes, so we are going to go down to the kitchen, get ourselves acclimated. We're going to get you in a hairnet, get you food safe, ready. We're going to do some prep for lunch today. We're going to do some prep for lunch tomorrow. And then the exciting part, you're going to serve some kids. And we're going to sit down and we're going to get some feedback, which is always an interesting thing.
Great.
Are you going to wear a hairnet today? You wear
I would
a hat?
love to.
Okay.
Or I can wear whatever you want.
No, you can wear a hairnet.
Excuse me, Sonny. We're not open until 9, okay? You want a juice box? Uncle Ian, you want a juice box? Oh, Uncle Ian, have some ketchup.
I'm here with 2 local legends at CB Jennings in the cafeteria. This is Tina Bannister, who is the chef here at CB Jennings, and then our lead cook, Lovendino. Lovendino.
Local legends of the...
Come on, these are my people. This is our 15 seconds.
Coming in the prep here.
All right, now get to work.
What are we cooking today, chefs?
Peruvian chicken. But first, we have to make pizza dough.
Yeah, let me wash up. All right? I'm doing the whole thing. Happy birthday, each hand, okay? Doctor, sterile. That's a mixer, huh?
That thing costs more than your car. I
bet it does, yeah.
The beast.
So you guys make a whole wheat pizza dough? This is amazing, man, because you know, like my memory of school pizza was Pizza Friday, and it was basically this little rectangle.
3 slices.
They're delicious. 3 slices. But that's kind of what you got, you know? Yeah. They sure as heck weren't making fresh, you know, they weren't shaping dough. There was no chef back there. So, I mean, right off the bat, just on the prep of this alone, I mean, it's amazing.
Can we get a hairnet, please?
Tina, can you get him a hairnet?
Yeah. I look like Mac's dad. Remember from Always Sunny? Get real crazy.
This might be your new look. Are you trying to cover your eyebrows as well with the hairnet?
I'm gonna go right here.
Just to be real thorough.
Full body net. Both at once.
Yes, we have to mix it together. Dry
Ready,
first.
chef?
Yeah, be careful slowly.
Don't make a mess of the flour here, Brad.
Yes.
All over.
Yeah, chef.
So we're gonna throw all the dry ingredients
Dry
in
and
here.
then mix
We're
first.
gonna mix
And this is your salt and the remaining flour.
Yes.
Right in?
Yeah, please.
Just be direct with him.
Yeah.
Be real direct with him.
Yeah.
Borderline be mean.
Otherwise, he'll probably make a mistake.
Probably.
And
Just swing that right in.
yeah. And then,
Oh, there you go, chef.
here you
Dang.
go. Then we have to close it.
That's a win the war tool right there, bud. Nothing but the best for you, chef.
Yes, it's a nice
Look at
one.
Hobart.
And then now you can start the water.
Start.
I had something more.
I was like, I think we're a little dry, chef. I will follow Lee off a cliff. I'll go to war with
I
you.
will too. I have already done it.
I've already done it.
Just focus on the task at
Thank you,
hand.
thank you. Dan, you're from right outside of Philly. That jug we just had, what was that liquid called? What's that liquid inside of it?
I don't know.
What's that clear liquid? It's fundamental for life.
I say water.
You say what?
I say water, not water.
You say water.
I say water.
Liquid water.
I'm far removed from South
He
Jersey.
says water.
Not water. Plenty of my
water. It's
family
water.
says water. Lee says water.
Yeah, she gets it. I think if you want to be a chef, I don't call myself a chef, that you should have to do a year working in a school.
I agree.
Or some similar type of structure.
Institutional food service. I completely agree. I think everybody would appreciate it more.
And you'd be a better chef.
100% agree. 100% agree. You know, I worked in restaurants my whole life, and I think like as a chef, you know, working in fine dining restaurants is kind of perceived as like how you are successful. So that's kind of what I did for most of my career. And at some point I decided, you know, that's not what I really wanted to do.
And optically, that was always the top. They were the rock stars.
That's right. And as a younger person, of course, that's what you're going to do. And it took a while, but at some point I gained the confidence to look at my career and say, what do I want to do? And it was feeding people, and it was feeding a lot of people, and it was feeding people who really depended on those meals.
And need it. I mean, what better thing than schools?
Yes.
How'd that, like, what was that transition?
There wasn't much of a transition.
Was it just you out of the gate here? It was just like Dan with a dream?
Because I had left the restaurant where I was at and it was well known, a lot of folks reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like you to start here. And actually, the superintendent of New London was one of those people. So I came from Copenhagen to New London, Connecticut. And
You were cooking over in NOMA for a bit, right? Sounds intense.
It was intense, but it was great, and I loved it. And I didn't leave restaurants because I didn't like restaurants.
Right.
I felt for me, what I wanted to do was cook in a different environment. And I came here, and the only thing that I knew at that point was I wanted to have chefs working in institutions. And why? Because a lot of chefs do not choose to work in institutions. It's not like the sexy, exciting job. And it's needed, not because the people who work in schools don't know how to cook. Of course they do. But chefs are the ones that are trained to cook. They're trained to train other people to cook. They're trained to run kitchens. So why shouldn't those people be involved in institutional food service programs?
So I couldn't agree more. Did you get that name kind of off of like the old French type of Brigade kitchen?
Brigade is this, traditional kind of French organization in a kitchen. So I thought that made sense. And then I changed the spelling to be AID at the end as this idea that it was going to be chefs kind of help using their kind of experience to help people.
Right, sure. Yeah, I love that, man.
I want you to do this.
Oh, yes, chef. Look at those mise en place, chef. Square it away.
This is so delicious.
There it is.
What is the menu today?
Peruvian chicken with a roast chaufa and a salterito salad, a chopped Peruvian salad.
Delicious.
Lots of fresh herbs. There's going to be olives. There's going to be feta in this, some vinegar, a very bright salad to go along with the fried rice.
And you guys are doing fresh stuff like this every day?
Every single day.
Every single day.
And I'd be trying to sneak in here for lunch if I lived around here.
One thing it's worth mentioning is one of the biggest challenges of school food is like you get several hundred kids that show up at one time.
Yeah.
And everything's on a schedule. So if you're like 2 minutes late, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's not like a restaurant where someone could wait an extra 30 seconds. So one thing we're constantly working on is trying to prepare things as fresh as possible and as close to lunch as possible without being late. Because again, if you're late, it's really a problem.
It's basically like the most busiest restaurant rush ever, every single day. This looks great. Is this a crowd favorite?
This is a tough one with kids.
Yeah.
Corn is a little bit easier to sell to, but there's a lot of foreign ingredients in
Sure.
there that they haven't seen before. Olives are a tough sell.
This is a great example, though, of a menu item that pushes students. They have other options today. So maybe every student's not going to like this.
Like you said, it's there. You know what I mean? Maybe one day Johnny or Mary is feeling a little ambitious on.
There's not a lot of Johnny and Marys anymore.
No, not. I guess it's not a common name.
You want to stick with
2
it?
scoops on each tray.
Yep. So this rice-veg mixture gets cooked with oil, and then when it comes out, we're going to top it with the dressing, cilantro and scallion.
Put it out thin like that, blast it in the broiler or something, and
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people get a lot of crispy rice quick. Chef, should I just finish that on that, right? Yeah, do the right thing?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you not waste several portions?
That's one portion right there.
You must get a decent amount of leftover food.
Such a big part of what they do here is forecasting. You can't run out of food. You know, if we have 4 options and there's X amount of lunch wave, you know, at the last lunch wave we can't have 2 options. Every kid should have every option available to them. But if you have a lot of extra food, that's also not good. So you're continuously dialing it in. And there are times there's extra food, and we have food pantries that we can donate to.
Oh, great.
But there are even rules within the National School Lunch Program. Meaning, for example, if we have extra food, we can't just give it to the staff or can't just give it to, we can't even just give it to the kids after the fact. So there has to be kind of this idea of accountability. So if all of a sudden you're preparing all kinds of extra meals and sending it out and not really accounting for it, obviously this can get out of hand very quickly.
Not only like you're just cooking for people, but you're cooking for kids. It must be a pretty tight, there must be a lot of rules and regulations. And what was that process like?
Yeah, a ton of regulations, and I think this is a big reason why like a lot of chefs would not necessarily choose doing this because they don't want to follow regulations. But essentially the way it works is we serve a meal that meets regulations, and then by doing that, you get money back from the government. So their laws are pretty strict, so there's nutritional guidelines, and then the budget's very tight. We're usually targeting about $1.50 to serve a lunch.
So, like submit recipes to get like analyzed?
So that's a great question. So periodically, the USDA, who administers the National School Lunch Program, will visit your program and audit it, and basically come in to check that you're following the rules. When a district is serving, say, a heat and serve item, they bring that item in, it meets all the guidelines. For a lot of districts, it makes more sense for them to just serve that item. Right. To cook from scratch every day, nail those guidelines, follow those recipes, it's a real challenge.
Sure.
So I think if more people understood how challenging it is to cook and get to that place, they'd understand why a lot of school districts do choose to say serve a lot of heat and serve kind of individually wrapped items and things like that.
Right.
Mr. Brown does the best announcement.
Pledge allegiance.
Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Where's
and
the flag?
remember,
That way?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When I was a kid, I used to say, "Please be seated," because I thought that was part of it.
Menu for today, we're having Peruvian chicken and Peruvian fried rice with a Peruvian chopped salad.
That's us, guys.
Delicious. Good.
Mr. Brown!
And he said he didn't want to be on a camera. You don't think he knows this is being filmed?
He's a ham bone.
He crushes lunch every day.
Man, this place is great. So much cooler than my school.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, sir. They keep ripping.
Waiting,
I know, they keep
Very
ripping.
slow.
All right, help me help you, chef.
Out, chef. Half
we
of
just-
that and half that as well.
Okay.
I think this guy cooks pizza. He's got the fancy Giusti.
Oh man,
It's a lot of dough.
it's a lot of dough.
You need help, Chef Lee? You want help? Can you help him?
No, chef. Well, we got it,
I
chef.
know you have muscle. Chef, I know. You need
Hold on,
help.
chef.
You need help.
No, I got it, chef.
She looks small, but she's pretty strong here. She
No,
does
she's
all
terrifying
this. She does all this by herself on the daily.
every day.
You come in here. She's got Tina Turner, Whitney Houston rocking.
Rest in peace, Tina Turner.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, chef, you did a good job, chef.
Not bad.
Yeah.
that's it. Dough. First step's done. So we're just gonna let this hang out. It'll proof. It'll double, if not triple in size. It'll fill this whole thing up.
You guys are squared away. You kind of got to be, right? As far as
You have to be.
You have to.
You know, we do all the scratch cooking here and how cool that is and how that's unique. It's hard to do this. It's hard, and this hasn't happened overnight.
Right.
I mean, we've been here for 7 years. been figuring out how to
Well-oiled
get-
machine.
It's systems. You got to be organized. It's systems. You got to everyone needs
It's
to be
systems and
trained.
it's good employees. Just
Well,
like
we have
any-
amazing people.
Yeah.
Amazing people.
It would be amazing to see like a school cafeteria be a place where chefs would want to go in.
I mean, honestly, I think a lot of, as someone who spends a lot of time trying to get chefs to join this space, I think a lot of it really has to do with how people perceive you. Like, I know now if I'm with my mom and we're out somewhere and like, she's like, oh, my son's a chef. And they're like, well, where do you work? And I'm like, I work at a school. And she's like, yeah, but he worked at restaurants too.
Right, sure.
She's very proud of me,
No, it
but she also
comes
knows how
with-
people perceive this idea, which is a shame. And like to think that if you were a chef in a school, someone might look at you like, oh, they're probably not that great of a chef.
You're right.
That's a problem.
It should be up there with,
Yes.
in my opinion, with going and working at some of the big restaurants or some, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because we saw it back there today. It's not, I mean, it's straight up cooking, and it's cooking for a lot of people.
All right, so Lee's gonna lead us here on how much we're gonna actually cook, but we're gonna start firing some chicken.
Yes, chef.
We work with a purveyor out of Massachusetts. They know what we're trying to do here. We're trying to cook from scratch. They work with us on price. Every Tuesday we get bone-in chicken thigh.
Oh, look at that tray. Nice.
Comes in on Tuesday, gets marinated on Tuesday, goes for 48 hours.
It looks amazing. What's the marinade?
There's a spice blend. It's got paprika, cumin, salt, sugar, pepper, and then we take white vinegar and garlic and we blend it into almost like a paste, just kind of highlighting Peruvian flavors. We want to keep them as close to true to what they're supposed to be as possible,
Can't go wrong with a bone-in chicken thigh.
because they are a little more forgiving. You can cook this a little more than
Right, it
than
can take
that.
it. It can take it. Yeah, it actually likes it.
For it to be of its highest quality is 185.
Right, because that's when that connective tissue starts to break
breaks down.
165, 170 or something. Right?
Yeah, so once we get to that mark, we kind of know that, okay, we've hit our food safety spot.
And that's when that experience that and you can use your intuition within the guidelines of following the recipe.
Exactly.
Lee, how long have you been cooking in kitchens?
5 years.
Just is this your
Yeah,
first kitchen?
because when I start here, I'm a prep,
Huh?
make sandwiches. When the Brigade came, they teach me. Yes,
We didn't teach you everything. You're the chef.
in the world.
they see my potential, you know,
Yeah.
I have something like,
Yeah.
and then they push me to be a cook.
You know, if I had a restaurant and there was some, 25-year-old kid coming out of a culinary school, or you with 5 years experience cooking in here,
Yes.
hands down every time. Cook circles around me.
And Lee says, she has the experience because of us, and it's really the other way around. I mean, we've started to have success as a company doing this in other places, and it's because of people like Lee. There's a lot of folks out there working in school kitchens who are amazing.
And the right attitude, right? I mean, like just like a kitchen, I've worked in ones and where it's not a nice place to work, but if you set up a nice atmosphere,
That's right.
you're gonna get better food.
And then sometimes you serve it to kids, and it's not successful, and the kids will let you know, and it's a really honest space, and that takes patience from in the kitchen.
Always think positive.
Changes the food.
You can
See
taste
the
it.
execution.
Lee, I feel like I'm just talking your ear off and I'm holding you back.
We actually missed lunch. Smells good.
Smells real good.
Yep, so you're gonna go 4 ladles of the dressing.
4 ladles,
This is called a spoodle.
a spoodle.
So it's
Come
basically
on.
a ladle. Well, it's a ladle and a spoon together, so it has a measurement. So it's basically like a measuring cup and a spoon connected.
I noticed that.
So you're measuring to the T right now. We want to try not to lose half the spoodle.
I was hoping you didn't see that. It smells great.
Obviously, if you're used to cooking at home or in a restaurant, you would taste this and then adjust it and taste it and adjust it. We can't do that. These recipes are dialed in.
Bulletproof, yeah.
Everything needs to be compliant, so we can't be doing it after the fact.
You can taste.
I'll taste.
Do a little taste test.
A little taste.
Little.
Ooh, nice. Nice amount of little acid in there too, yeah.
The dressing is made of soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, sugar, garlic, and fresh ginger.
Cumin.
And cumin,
yes.
yep.
Are they herb friendly kind of? I mean, me, I want to dump this whole thing on. We're cooking for kids, Brad. Relax. Relax,
Oh,
Brad.
just relax.
What do you got there? To go?
Our first wave goes out the door to a preschool down the
amazing.
street. 70-ish.
70 kids that you package up from this kitchen and bring to an offsite.
Yes.
As if you didn't have enough going on. My God.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. So the kids already in 7th grade are used to it.
Sure.
It was a hard sell at the beginning, but now they come in, they
What a
eat, they
beautiful-
try it, they know we don't lie to them. They've learned, and if you don't like it, come back up and you can have
It is a
anything
trust thing, right?
Yeah. We
And-
have to build friendships with these kids.
And over time, I mean, that is, some folks don't have a home cooked meal when they go home. And if they're exposed to that for a good chunk, for a decade, you're kind of changing the way someone could, as an adult, really kind of view food.
Right.
We also made mistakes. Like the first year we took peanut butter and jelly sandwiches off the menu. Because it was like, we're chefs here and every kid should want to eat this. And then you see kids who are hungry choosing not to eat because there's nothing that makes them feel comfortable. And that's when it clicks. You're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, PBJ ain't too bad either. And what temp do you like to bring him to again, Lee?
185,
Smelling good though, huh?
187, yeah. It smells good.
Smells great.
Delicious.
Dude, chicken thigh, that meat flap, that first flap. Oh, little meat flap, chef.
If any kid says, that's gross, like every kid's
It's
like,
over. I can't even send egg salad to school anymore. My kid loves it.
No.
One kid made fun of him. No more egg salad.
Really?
I don't like it. I'm like, you love it. Oh God, sorry, chef.
It's coming.
You feeling good about it, Lee?
Yes.
I'm feeling good about it. Look at that bubble. You can't fake that. That's the real deal, Bubba.
We're not only going to tempt this chicken, we're going to tempt all the chicken.
You're not cooking just for your kid. You're cooking for
You got to be
200 other people's kids. Food safety is a very, very, very serious thing. Well, good thing Lee's a badass. Give me a demo, chef.
There's a number to everything. Like she knows how many portions on each tray. She knows how many portions go into each hotel family.
She's a computer.
Pressure's on.
I got it. You wait till I get up front. My front of the house is way better, Lee, I promise. Not to get all sentimental, but my dad told me something when I was young that really stuck with me. And he was always just like a working guy, and he goes, don't ever think you're above any job.
That's exactly right.
Like, even if you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, make it with some pride.
Make it with pride. There's details and everything.
Lee's just like, a little faster. Little faster,
Little
chef.
It's actually yes.
You're nervous.
Yeah, you make me nervous. We start talking or getting all set. I start crying or something. Tell me to just get back to work.
Get back to work.
Lee also has a recipe on the menu.
Stop. We do. I believe
I
that.
have, yeah.
What's the recipe, Lee?
That's chicken adobo.
Lee worked with Alex to take her home recipe and make it compliant to the guidelines.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
you can just now, she serves it, we serve it across the district.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The chicken adobo, is that like a Mexican recipe?
No, it's a Filipino recipe.
Filipino.
Philippines.
Okay. Where am I putting this bad boy?
One of the biggest takeaways for me hanging out with the cafeteria staff is how much they cared.
Where's the warmer?
They were cooking their asses off, Monday through Friday. Chicken, rice, vegetables, all from scratch. Not out of a bag and heated up in a microwave. Folks were cooking like it was their family.
Let's see those game faces, all right?
Little smiles.
Yes.
I'm kind of nervous.
Why?
I'm not nervous.
Don't be nervous.
All right. I feel good about. Oh my God. Okay.
Hang out. Here they come.
I got you.
They're coming, man. He's probably a fan, man. The kids are here. It's time to get going.
How we doing, guys? You want some chicken and rice? How we doing, buddy? We got some chicken and rice. I know you want some of that.
Oh, looks good. Looks good.
How you doing, my friend? How are you liking our recipe? You liking it?
He gave it a thumbs up. Chefs, these kids are amazing. Even more amazing, these ladies, man, just running the food. You guys build relationships.
Yeah,
they know you.
Yeah, look at this one still.
My love, you know what you want now?
I was eyeballing that too. That was good.
We want pizza today. Still gonna get
I'm doing a video of this guy up here.
Yeah, he's about how good you guys' lunches are.
Do you like the school lunches here? What's your favorite lunch?
I like the cheeseburgers and the sausage dog.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Peanut butter jelly sandwich? All right, let's go get one.
Warm it up, chef. This is it. This might be my calling. You guys want some chicken and rice? Yeah? There you go. Each little section has waves. This is a whole nother like class or period. I have no idea. Got it. I'll take this whole wave. You guys, you guys take a break. No problem, Babo. I broke my glove. They're gonna eat me alive. Uh-oh, you need help, bud? You need fruit? Oh, there we go. Fruit's coming in. Watch your heads, kids. Ooh! I missed Mango Day. My name's Brad. You touch it, you buy it. She took hot sauce.
Kids just said, does this guy have a lot of followers?
400 million.
Brad.
Oh, sorry. Oh, the classic ham baguette cheese. I like your style, lady. Ooh, doubling up on the fruit. This lady's gonna live to be 120. She's our best eater of the day right there. All right, I think we made it through that. They just came all at once on that one. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, bud. Thank you. Oh my God, right? Yeah.
I know I do. I do love my job, and I don't think everybody can say that.
And that makes a big difference, right? When you get along with the people you work with and what you're doing, it makes it, it makes all the difference in the world.
Right.
Yeah. I've been a C student, so that's okay.
He's been pretty good student. Proper
Nice
portions.
portions?
Yeah.
So we're talking like a B plus?
Talking a
B minus?
Solid B plus.
Yeah. Solid. A solid one. I like that. You guys are involved in a few schools, not just in New London here, but across the country, right?
We're in 6 states at the moment. We're in Connecticut, we're in New York, we're in Virginia, Colorado, California, and we're in Maine. School districts that have 2 schools, all the way up to school districts that have 166 schools. We have a chef in a state prison system in Maine. We have a chef in a senior center in Manhattan, but the majority of the work we do is in schools.
That's great, man. And I feel like that paradigm has kind of shifted over the past, let's say decade, even more so in the past few years, right? Where the importance of you are what you eat. I feel like, America's always claiming to be one of the richest, and it is. We should be able to do better.
I agree.
In feeding kids. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? What's your name? I'm Brad.
What is it, Kyler?
She's your cousin? No way.
What kind of food do you guys make?
What kind of food? Whatever kind of food we want. I have some kids about your age too. We make fish, we make chicken, we make vegetables, we make pasta, we make soup, we make sauce, we make salads, we make all the good stuff. Grilled cheeses.
But question for you, what kind of food do you like to eat? Grilled cheese, okay?
Salad.
You like a salad? I like salads too.
My favorite is Thanksgiving because
Oh,
Gravy?
we get to eat.
Gravy is good. I like the stuff.
a lot of food on Thanksgiving. That's nice, right?
We get to eat the dessert.
Hey, Dan can't hear us. How you guys like the food they make here? It's good, right?
My favorite
Your favorite dish here is what?
barbecue.
Barbecue chicken.
Oh, me too. Me
Uh-oh.
That's a classic.
too. Barbecue chicken.
How's it? What do you like about it?
The barbecue sauce is like.
Does it come on bread?
Oh,
it's a sandwich?
It comes with cornbread.
Well, you guys make the cornbread from scratch here?
We do, they do, they do. Carrots. Do you eat the carrots? You eat the carrots? No, you don't eat the carrots? Okay.
gotta try.
That's okay.
You never tried them? You gotta try them at least one time. They're sweet like candy sometimes.
They are sweet, the carrots.
That's still very good, right?
They are.
My
She
favorite.
knows. She even says sweet glazed carrots. That's what they are. You're right. Wow. What a memory.
You like the food here? Yeah, it's good.
Especially Sloppy Joe's.
Sloppy Joes are good? See you chopped up.
What is it?
Oh yeah, breakfast for lunch.
Breakfast for lunch. Breakfast for lunch is fun.
I mean, I saw firsthand what we were cooking in there, and just talking from the kids, it wasn't like you guys put on a show because you knew that we were gonna.
It's straightforward, but it's nothing crazy though.
That's just good food that someone made and cared about
Yes.
and was thoughtful throughout the way.
I like to use the word thoughtful all the time because we talked to some kids who were eating the chicken and eating the rice and really enjoying that. There was a lot of kids just eating a sandwich, but that sandwich looked really nice.
It did look nice.
Wrapped really nice, and they really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And it was real food. Oh, you gonna eat those?
I would never.
She tried. I just would like to say that she never had this before, and she tried it for the first time. I thought that was very brave of her. Very brave that she tried that.
It was awesome getting back there and working with Lee and Tina. I mean, just absolute legends, man. And it's that's what it does. It takes a whole hive, and it's just what a really, really important thing you guys are doing.
Thank you. We're trying.
Kids are filing in.
Kids are here.
Let's go feed them.
do it.
I'm getting back on the line.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can just make fun of me from the sides. How we doing, kids? How we doing? How we doing? The name of the show is Local Legends, and you're going to be on the video, I think. It's going to be awesome. And tell all your friends to watch it 400 times a month.
Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Like and subscribe.
How are you gonna say no to that? All right, here's $5. You're the best.